The last guardian of the dodo. Let me take you back to a time long ago in the heart of the Indian Ocean on the island of Mauritius. This place was a lush paradise, full of tall forests, exotic plants, and animals found nowhere else on Earth. Among these creatures lived the dodo, a bird unlike any other. It was big and clumsy, with soft feathers and a curious nature. The dodo could not fly, but it was gentle and peaceful, living its quiet life without fear. Our story begins in the late 1600s, a time when sailors from Europe were discovering new lands and trading routes. Mauritius was still wild and largely untouched, but with new visitors came change. Among the island's few inhabitants was a man named Jacques. He was a keeper, a guardian of the land who felt a deep connection to the island and its creatures. Jacques was not a wealthy man, but he had inherited a small piece of forest near the coast, a special nesting site where dodos came to lay their eggs. But this place was sacred to him. He remembered stories from his father, who once told him that the dodo was more than just a bird. It was a symbol of peace and patience, a reminder to care for those who cannot protect themselves. One day, traders came to Jacques with offers to buy the land. They wanted to build docks and warehouses to bring more ships and goods to the island. The money was tempting, enough to change Jacques' life forever. But when he looked out over the trees and saw the dodo footprints in the soft earth, something inside him said no. He refused to sell. Jacques' decision was not easy. He faced pressure from neighbors and strangers who saw only profit, but he held firm, choosing instead to watch over the last nesting site for the dodo. As years passed, stories began to spread, strange dreams that Jacques had, night after night. In these dreams, dodos appeared to him, not as the clumsy birds of the day, but as wise guides, leading lost sailors safely back to shore through stormy seas. The birds seemed to carry the island's spirit, a gentle force watching over those who respected the land. One night, during a fierce storm, Jacques dreamed of a flock of dodos flying low over the waves, their soft calls cutting through the wind. The next morning, word came that a ship, caught in the storm, had been guided to safety by a strange light near the island. The sailors spoke of bird shapes and glowing feathers, stories that sounded like the dreams Jacques had been having. From then on, Jacques understood that protecting the dodo was more than saving a bird. It was about guarding a legacy of care and respect. It was about standing up for the last of something precious even when no one else would. The dodo may have vanished from the world in time, but its spirit lived on in those who chose to protect it. This story reminds us that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness, like refusing to give up a piece of land or watching over a fragile life, can leave the greatest legacy. Just like Jacques and his dodos, we all can be guardians of what matters most. So next time you feel like giving up on something important, think of the last guardian of the dodo. Remember that true strength is in caring, and that sometimes the quiet protectors are the ones who change the world.